vibes come through. You know what I'm saying? Over here, I do live streaming, advertising, video graphic design, editing, music placement, etc. Got different package deals and stuff of that nature. But come over here, lock it in with me, depending on what you got going on. Maybe we could do a live stream. Let's talk about it. Or I also do consultation of guidance, spiritual guidance and awareness, divine guidance and awareness. Right, know the vibes. Let's build. Naga.
Like I saw you in my dreams, like a movie full of scenes. So let me talk to your soul. I don't mean to interrupt love, I don't mean to impose. Give a penny for your thoughts, give your love for your trust, or a tub full of hearts. Got me running for your love, got me waiting on your touch. We connect like a plug. Yes, the sex is so amazing, yeah, the sex like a drug. You are the perfect one, like a hand to my glove. Is this really what you want? Because if you want it, it's yours. We spend days in the mall, we spend nights in the club. The diamonds and the pearls, we got the club on fire. This for my favorite girl. No, I ain't just saying things or playing games. This real love, no, this real trust. No, you can't fake love. You can feel it in the touch. You are the only one. Now all we ask is true. All we ask is trust. I give you my heart. I give you the sun. Got a question for you, baby. Can you tell me how you feel? Can you tell me if it's real? I don't know what's the appeal. And somebody that won't love you like I will. Gotta pick it up, run this shit like drills. If that's what it takes, hanging out all late like a talk show. If love was for sale, yeah, I know you buy some. Take you away from him, I ain't got no option. If that's what it take, cause you know I ain't stopping. Same time I'm not chasing, got too many options. Skin soft and you sunbathing, charging up your chakras. Money combos only, hate when I feel.
I gotta excuse the stream, yo. This shit's been acting up all day. Like, it's been hard for me to actually stream. I've been trying to show y'all little new things that some of my intros and advertisements or whatever, but it just ain't been coming together. Um, yeah, I'm Naga, and today's topic is trying to keep my intentions clear, and we are both. Hold on. We are both the dominant traits. I'll start with the first part. Trying to keep my intentions clear. Excuse me. Noticing the level of change in the air, the type of energy in the air, and how it changes despite words that I ever said. It's always the divine you're going to lean on for the particular strength. What I start to notice is sometimes leaning on the divine becomes a little bit more difficult because of the force of value, right? So you start to learn to remove your value from certain things. You start to learn to, even though how can you not put value on certain particular things? You know what I mean? This is like the average of life in some sense. And I did a video earlier, but I was more or less in a particular type of energy, and that energy wasn't mine, and I didn't quite adjust it all the way, and I was just speaking from whatever place or standpoint that I was in at the moment, and that's what made me remove it. Like I was looking at it, and I was like, that's not all my energy, so I removed it, and trying to be mindful of these particular values speak to certain things. The level of intention. My intentions have to stay within the divine. So I don't have particular intentions for myself right now, even though I should. It's kind of hard to, because majority of my thoughts are materialistic value right now. Like I need so many things, right? So regardless of uh excuse me, I'm scratching my leg, yo. Regardless of the value of materialistic things, sometimes it is prioritized, and especially in my life right now, it's very prioritized. Like need things. I don't want shit. I need shit. You know what I'm saying? Like so, when things hit me in the opposite of the ebb and flow, I have to remember me personally. I have to remember to fight to hold on to the divine. It's that's a struggle week or a struggle frequency or time or whenever, as long as that stays on. It's like you're really holding on to it, because majority of the time it's trying to get you to hold on to it, and the other times you have to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? Like so, um, it's almost like tug of war. Sometimes you know that you got it, you know you got a good grip on it, and then sometimes you can feel it pulling, trying to come out your arms, and that's just the ebb and flow, because one is acceptance and one is um uh what's a good word for it? The other one would be to, I mean, simply put, to hold on to it, because, but I'm looking for different words. Like, one is trying to get you to hold on to it, and the other one is forcing you to hold on to it. I guess I'll say it like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's being pushed into you so you don't feel the need to hold on to it tight because it's trying to stay there. And then the other one is ultimately is when it's trying to move away because it's trying to shine. So you got to hold on to it. So a couple times this week, I might have uploaded a particular video and then I might have taken it down. Well, I have to keep my intentions clear, right? I have to keep my intentions clear and subsequently stay on the value of what divine is trying to get me to follow. My heart is open for a conversation, value. I'm very at peace no matter what attacks. Like I see a lot of negative energy all the time. You know what I mean? And it tries to like come out of the weirdest places, and you're like, my face just looks at it for what it is. Like I'm in a different mindset, so I feel like I'm prepared for something different. So that's another reason to keep my intentions pure, not for serving me, because shit, there's no way I can serve anything that I want right now or need. So I keep my intentions for the divine, and that's a weird feeling too. You know what I mean? Because literally, I have to like X myself out completely. You know what I mean? Like X myself out of existence in a sense, like, and it's a weird feeling because you just kind of really just believing in the divine and going with whatever comes. And I don't. I'm be honest. I really don't like that feeling because it's like you don't have. You're just basically following with no feet or arms. It's a weird feeling, like, and things are still coming at you, trying to get you to say, "Yes, I'm human." You know what I mean? It's like trying to make you acknowledge the fact that you're still in the human experience. And I know the human experiences around me, but I can't match up to none of those particular values, so I don't give it no energy. Like it's nothing for me to talk about. I think that's how I always been. Like if I'm not in the game, I kind of just remove myself spiritually from it, like mentally, spiritually. Like if I'm not cared for in a particular way, I kind of remove myself spiritually, physically, mentally. You know what I mean? Like it's always the energy for me. So ultimately, that has been strengthening a whole bunch as far as like my character or who I am as an individual. It's been getting like really, really strong. And I wonder, I wonder, I say to myself a lot, I say, self, uh, there is nothing that I'm capable of or been capable of that would allow a particular type of treatment in my life. So I don't question the divine. I do question my choices though. I've questioned my choices before. I've asked myself, why haven't I, or why wasn't I able to? And then I know because it's not like I didn't know in the circumstances. It was always me weighing out the value of where I want to land, right? I always want to land a certain way. I always want to exit a certain way. I always want to find a safe aspect. Like if it's two doors closed, I always got another door to slide through. You know what I mean? I think like that. So um, when I sacrifice for the divine, I sacrifice my doors. You know what I mean? And I lean purely on just the divine saying, just do it. You know what I mean? And I would watch things happen in my life recently and in the past. I would look at these things and I would be like, dang, yo, you're really just going to do that. And it would be weird to me because I had to remove a natural response. And that was hard. That was like one of the hardest things ever to do. Learning to be a divine character in a human experience. That's a very hard thing to do. And then you have to do it without acknowledging anybody that you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? You have to let them be. You know how it feels like if you pick up a phone and it's somebody that shouldn't be on the other line, but your person is like laying right there asleep. You know what I mean? And then you're talking to this individual and they're like adamant on speaking to your person, right? That should like make you get real pissed off and flip out and want to break stuff, right? And I didn't. I literally put it deep inside my body and let it hurt. I mean, it hurt so bad because I was like, wow, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, wow, yo, that was heavy. Can you swallow that feeling? You know what I'm saying? Can you literally swallow that? And and my attention game is so on point. Like I always remembered, right, the sensitivity of women, not girls, women. Like when real women would talk about what they wanted from a man and what the idea of only thing they wanted to happen was. And back when I was growing up, it was like Ricky Lake and Montel Jordan, right? So, you know what I'm saying? You'd always get these specific TV shows or Oprah, right? And everybody's like saying stuff. And when I was a kid growing up watching this stuff, like I was a kid, so I'll be like, you know what? I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And then I was laughing at myself earlier, like the other day, because I remember growing up watching like Chippendale Rescue Rangers and shit. And I was listening to the theme song and I was like, let me find out this is how I got like this, like watching these particular cartoons when I was a kid and then start saying to myself, you know what, I'm just gonna go into the world and make it right, which is not a reality at all. Like people don't care to be in a good situation. This is what you notice. People don't care about you being like, I think it was more the fact of the hurt allowing them to have a voice, and then having a platform for the voice was being created. So nobody ever been on a talk show before. You know what I'm saying? So that gave the the host and the audience time to be the first version of social media that we never had, right? So this is where Jerry Springer came in, and this is when you have all these other talk show hosts, and people would tune in. You would turn on your TV just to watch people talk about shit that wasn't even real. We knew most of it was fake, but then you would see somebody that or somebody familiar to somebody else's family and the audience. And now you felt like you can be a part of that. You felt like you can go up there and take your story. I remember my brother was on in the audience of a talk show. That just made it even worse. Like we really felt like being on TV was possible. So then the line that was drawn for the value of what would happen at home in society opposed to what was happening on TV, that was a big line. It was no way to cross that because we didn't have that value. You never seen that lifestyle cross over into our world. It was just a big difference. And then you would see movies start coming out in the future. You had more homebody movies that cross referenced with a circumstance, right? The circumstance was a murder or someone going to prison or them situating the fact that someone lost someone close to them, right? And then they would show you this dressed up in urban clothes and in neighborhoods that we would frequent. They would show you these things and these values, and then we became more relevant into the popular aspect of visualizing the world from TV. So this is when hip hop got more popular. This is when people really started listening to R&B because it was like they were singing the pain of high school relationships and college relationships in a passionate way, which started creating values that weren't real. Before you knew what hurt was, you just did what you knew what to do. You got over it and you moved on. You had some people that would come out of the blue and they knew a little more, but families knew that that person didn't need to be around because of what they knew. They knew too much. So they would say, nah, you're hurt too much. You're damaged. You don't need to be around them. They don't know what you know. This would be secrets in families. So certain people couldn't even come around particular family members because of what they experienced, what they went through. And the elders back then knew that. They would keep it a secret to that value and say, well, you live where you live at with that character. Because we'd be damned if these over here start acting like that. Thrown away. This is what people threw away. They didn't care enough to protect what was wrong. So then if a circumstance happened, now you got a multiplication of circumstances that everybody can put on like an outfit. Everybody's been through this. Everybody's been through that. Everybody, and it's now that's the intro to anyone's life. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm cool. I'm cool. Nice to meet you. Thing is, hey, I've had this happen next to me. Hey, I've been through this. Now, where do you go? What does that really entail? Like, where do you go when you put that much pressure on someone you really don't know? Like, where do you go? Like before, we knew we can go to our moms. That was like the thing. Like if it was that heavy, I'm going to tell my mother. That was the first thing. Like I'm going to tell my mother. That shouldn't have never ever went away. That should have always been the place you can always confide in. I'm going to tell my mother because she's going to know what to tell me in this circumstance to do. When did that go out the window? When did that get thrown away? Like, when did people start absorbing these things in the world and started becoming less than what we've always been? Family. Then you got the need and the greed of want, right? So then the need and the greed of want starts to dampen the intentions. People start to make different decisions based off the criteria of killing the humanity. And then automatically you got someone in the background egging it on, telling you, oh, they're just feeling this way because. These are all sediments of destruction. Being mindful of who you let in your house is very important because I really wouldn't want that around my children. I want to know what my children are listening to so I can structure how they grow up. I want to know who's talking and what they're saying around my kids, and if they're in close proximity to my home, I can delegate how much of that my children are listening to. We don't get a chance to hold on to what we need to keep as precious because what we had as precious wasn't precious in the first place. You start to take those values and you feel lesser to the creations and the connections that you have in your life. And then subsequently, every mistake you make is everybody else's problem. I still look at some of the actions that are directly, intentionally made towards me, and I try to find a way to take the problem from those people. I've said to these people, be mindful of your steps while we are walking on the path together, knowing that the outcome was going to already be what it was going to be because of their intentions. So I would try to protect them at that moment and sharpen their intentions. Like understand that you don't have to be this way. Like I wouldn't want my spirits to come for you. Like I'm serious. Like I'm so serious. I would not want my ancestors to come for you. We don't think enough. I got so much regard and care for people, yo. And I think about, I'm like, Divine, all my life circumstances, yeah, I can admit when I was young and stupid. I can admit those things. But it's been a time in my life, no matter what people looked at me and saw, I've hung those towels up a long time ago. Like a long time ago. Like people don't know me at all. They only know what they perceive and what the circumstance seems like. So just because you have a similar circumstance don't mean the circumstance came at the same way. This is just how life works. But when you have people who are judging you and they want you to be in a certain criteria, then automatically you don't get the chance to live in a form of civility because you're being judged. Well, that's a cardinal sin not to judge. And people say, why won't you get mad? Well, because I'm not supposed to judge you. I'm not supposed to judge you. Even if I'm watching you do something, this is me fighting the obedience. This is me fighting being disobedient. Yes, I can see it right in front of my face. I see everything going on, but it'll take hell and hot water for me to come out of that and say, fuck you, this, that, and the third, and you're this, and you're that. I'm not going to be a judgmental individual. That is a sin. It took me years to learn how not to be judgmental. No matter what the world dishes out, you have to fight to be you. And if it takes just that enough to bring you out of your character, then you have a lot of work to do. This is why trying to keep my intentions clear is one of the most important things I had to think about lately. Keep your intentions clear. Do not cloud your intentions with wants and needs of your life. Even though you're in a needy situation, please put your intentions on the divine and have intentions for the divine word to be brought to pass. Have intentions for the divine to enter in people's life where there is darkness. Have intentions for people that you come across that seek the knowledge that divine speaks through you. Have intentions for these things. You get a humbleness, you get a different energy that comes over you because you're not just living for yourself, you're living for the intentions of divine. And whether or not people comprehend this value or even digest it or take it on to chest value, This is a reality. It's what we deal with every day. It's who we are as individuals. But we will fight to make those things obsolete. And they are the most important things in our lives. I'm going to always specify the value of the light and what that actually means. Because the light inside of you, the light life, you hear me talk about the light life. Well, that's important because without the light, it doesn't matter. And consequently, consequently, indulging in particular energy means you intake this food and then you have to pass it out. So when you pass it out, that means you partaken in a particular energy. This is why divine doesn't want us to be judgmental. For you to wish death on someone, wish harm on someone, wish failure on someone's life, to be a block in the creation that divine has created. If you wish these things, this is you partaking on that energy. So these are the energies that you're going to receive back towards yourself. We have to learn to be humble with one another. Being humble with one another only allows you to see that an individual is just what it is, an individual, a creation of divine that carries light just like you. It doesn't specify, it doesn't make special. It's just the value of respecting one's life. But we show favoritism. We choose what we want to respect. We choose characters we want to deal with. We choose characters we want to put on for the particular time and moment. We don't have the Duracell or the durability to keep going on a choice that we made, and this is what we fall short at. How do you expect to accomplish anything in life when you can't even stand in your own decision? I love being just who I am. I don't want to be nobody else. I love being just who I am because I'm going to be this great person for someone who wants this person, for someone who wants to love this person, for someone who ain't going to play about me, for someone I can take for as far as I can go, someone I feel super comfortable around, someone I can create with and grow with. Who doesn't want these things in their life? And I always tried to be this and spoke these values because Divine says, and my grandfather told me, treat people how you want to be treated. So even if they didn't work out, at least I treated you the way I wanted to be treated. And that energy that I put out, hopefully I'll get that back. I don't have to ask if I'm deserving. I know I'm deserving because I've made those changes in my life. I put that work in to make those changes. I'm humble enough to even realize my greatness without bragging about it. I don't have to go around and say this is what I did or this is who I am. I have so many other accomplishments I've never spoken on. I probably won't say nothing because there's no need to. Hopefully, in the glory of the divine, if it's in divine will, I'll get a chance to get back to everything that I'm capable of doing. I have so many things, so many things I want to do. My brain will never stop, yo. Like I got so many things I want to do, and the outcome is always going to be beautiful because I'm not thinking about the means. But even though I'm forced to think about means at this point, it doesn't make it a main priority of thought patterns and frequencies. I'm always thinking about the will of the Most High because that's going to get me where I'm going to be most comfortable. So that's a reason for me keeping my intentions clear. We're 30 minutes in. I'm gonna take this other side, this other 30 minutes to talk about. And we are both with dominant traits. I always hear people saying masculine and feminine, right? This whole masculine and feminine, masculine and feminine, masculine and feminine. Well, even I heard some female say on this little short. She said, "The masculine men ain't like the masculine men back in the day." Well, they've always been the same. Whoever you are out there, or if you run across this video, they have always been the same. The difference is the expression of it. Okay, so I think that's something that people don't comprehend. And when you get to hear stories, you want the story expression of how someone told you something that happened in their lives. Keep in mind, that's only their perception. Everybody else probably didn't see it the way they saw it. And it probably wasn't as blown up as the way they made it blown up. But this is what happens when endorphins take place and you are perceiving something from your angle in life. You have endorphins, adrenaline, and your perception, which blows it all out of proportion because now you're high off natural body fluids and don't know why you're like just absorbing the energy a certain way. But this is what divine has given us to use to fall in love. But my point for this conversation is to explain that when we were created in the ethers, we were created with both parts equally. Okay, you were created with both parts equally. You have angles and waves. You have the male and the female aspect. There is not there's not one that's more dominant, like one that's better than the other or separates. We are all of these things. So everybody's like masculine, feminine, and I understand why. I do comprehend why it's being said, but scientifically it's incorrect. You know what I'm saying? Universally, scientifically, it's incorrect. And me even saying the dominant traits to the value is kind of like a falsity. It's like, say, what if I say I created your feet with 100% of this energy, but then I created your legs with 75% of this energy, but I removed this 25% to make them more look as if they're like this. And then this part I added, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same ratio in everybody, it's just the percentages are different that makes us seem different. You know what I'm saying? As far as outside extremities. You see what I'm saying? So when we're talking about the physical attribute of what you are, it doesn't equate to the reason of your full creation. Your full creation, you are both parts. That's the light that came in you. It's the highest version of both the L and the wave, the negative and the positive. It's the highest creation of both of that. This is that light that's formulated into you. It's the reason why it's the reason why a circle gets a square. You see what I'm saying? You're a complete cipher of energy. And it's the reason why you can be placed in a yin yang. And they was able to split it into two parts. And this is why you actually agree with it in this aspect too, because you are in that trap of yin yang and you agree with dividing up what you are. But ultimately, if we had the higher retrospect of looking at existence in this way, people in this way, saying that, and I'm not saying separate from saying male and female. I'm saying separate from the masculine and the feminine qualities because you can have women that are more masculine than men. You can have men that are more feminine than women, you know, and they carry the frequency. You see what I'm saying? So we all know that this doesn't really speak to the spiritual aspect of these counterparts, but we get carried away with talking to a particular level of knowledge when we are performing an understanding across the people. Now, keep in mind, you can have paternal men and you can have non-paternal mothers. Just because a mother can give birth doesn't make her paternal. Paternal is the essence of nature and nurture. It's the reason why you know to do the right thing. It's the reason why you will do the right thing because you have a paternal instinct to procure the knowledge for what you're growing. This is a separation between People who can have babies and people who have babies because they're paternal. It's always going to be about the frequency. The capability doesn't make you the understanding of the value. Just because you're capable of shit don't mean you're supposed to be doing it. Yeah, I can drive, but I got vertigo. So if I get behind the wheel, I'm going to crash a car. I can drive a car though, but I get in there too long, I start getting a little wobbly. My shit starts spinning. And while my vision is spinning, my eyes are spinning, I'm going to crash, I'm going to hit somebody. So this is me thinking before I even get to the aspect. So I automatically say, nah, I can't drive. Because I don't even want to go through the whole understanding of even trying to put somebody's life in danger. I'm going to do the right thing anyway, even if that's Xing myself out. The saddest thing about life is people think they're capable of taking advantage. And when you step to a value and you take from somebody, whether that's the character, whether that's the title, whether that's the understanding of this individual, you are literally pulling the wrong cord of service from the divine. Like divine laid out, say for example, divine laid out two sides of cords, 100 billion cords on both sides. These cords over here answer a whole bunch of light, but when they answer them, it's because you pulled from the negative aspect. These cords over here will answer a whole bunch of light, but when you answer them, whatever you answering, you pulling from the positive side. So it's not what you ask, it's where you pulled from. You know what I'm saying? So what are you pulling from? Are you pulling from your lower self? Or are you pulling from your higher self? So you can ask these things with your heart, or you can ask these things with malice. This is how it's set up. So when you reach up and you thinking you being, I'ma do whatever I'ma do, you pulling from the negative cord. Only you know what's in your mind. You pulling from the negative cord. Divine sees that automatically. And it's like, nah, you can't do that. We're not gonna do that. But when you pull from the positive cord and you act with love, it's like, damn, you had enough to add love to that. That shows how much strength you have. This is how these things are being answered. So automatically understanding the value of male and, well, the feminine frequency and the the or the negative frequency and the positive frequency, the masculine frequency and the feminine frequency, they speak to two things. Once you understand the capability of an energy or an equation, you have to look at it for what it is. So the L, which was the Elohim, when it came up, it pushed up through the ether. So when it pushed up through the ether, it was one angle that parted everything in every direction, which became all angles. That was the L's. That was so many L's turning in 360 degrees around the ratio of the energy coming up through the ether. When it came up, the first energy it created was repel. The repelling energy had waves. So as the explosion and it was coming through, it blew everything out through the waves. So the angles and the waves were combined together at that point, and they were being mixed in what we like to call the non-ether. This is the spin. This was the spin, and this is like the great mixing bowl. So as that was spinning and all these things was spinning in the universe, this is how you got creation. This is what creation came from. At that point, it could have came out looking like a whale. It could have came out looking like a leviathan. It could have came out looking like anything. You don't know. Like it could have been anything, but it had both counterparts. We start seeing later in life how different animals was able to do this and do that, and some things. These things are only counterparts of the duality. Like I said, you have both parts, right, in all circumstances, but some of them have a dominant aspect to it. This is how it's stacked. Like I stacked 10 blue Lego blocks here. I put 10 purple over here and 10 green. We finally got to the top. You know what I'm saying? This one only had like 5 blue, but it had like 15 green right here and maybe 20 purple, but it still got to the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just the value of how it's explained. But do I sit down and I tear apart the conscious understanding of it because I believe it to be what it stands as, or do I speak to it in its value? We used to do this shit back in the day. We used to call chicks tomboys because she was a girl, but she act tomboyish. But check the game. Because tomboy girls garnered a level of attention, all females started wanting to be tomboys. You heard it become a slang. Females be like, I have my tomboyish days. We like, yo, what are you talking about? It's not a such thing as a tomboyish day. It's either you a tomboy or you not. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we knew the difference in between that type of female to regular girls. Regular girls didn't want to do shit that tomboys did. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that's just what it was. And a real tomboy gave off a particular energy. Like, they was just different when you was young and you grew up knowing that. They might have changed as they got older, but you always knew. You know what I'm saying? And then other females, they was just girly, girly, like, girly girlies. They'll stay together. You know what I'm saying? They'll be in their little groups. Like, as they got older, they went from doll babies to being talkative. It was like, it's just a value. So you was always able to see the natural order of things. That didn't make me say, yo, shorty a man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, she was just a chick that had a higher level of testosterone, and she had to get that shit out at a young age so she can grow to be whoever she was going to be in the future. Divine don't make mistakes. He just lines it up. So I seen Tomboy beat up dudes when we was little. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she was cool. You feel me? But she just would rather wear a fitted cap and a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? And then the girls would, you see them in their Sunday shoes, all day long, sliding across the concrete. You know what I'm saying? Dirty toes, half paint on them with, the little straps on their shoes. You come outside, usually we about to play rough, but you still got your dress on. That was a girl. And as soon as she falls, she wanna cry. The tomboy wasn't nothing like that. The tomboy was taking all the smoke. She had the bike. She was jumping the hills with us. You know what I'm saying? She was scrapping. It was all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? So we knew the difference, even though they both was females. Wouldn't say, oh, you masculine. She was a female. She just had a different level of her. And she still grew up to be a woman. You see what I'm saying? But she would have out masculine any nigga that was around us at the age we was. Do I call her a man though? No, we called her a tomboy, like a tomcat. And the same thing with gay dudes. We knew dudes was quiet when they was young, but they didn't show the whole like show their whole funny side. Like, we used to be like, we didn't say gay. We say they was funny. That's how we said it. We didn't say gay. We would do like this. We're like, yo, they funny. And you would do like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't all the badgering. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the beat down about how you looked at people. And if you was a straight man, you just said, nah, that's how they get down. That's them over there. We don't move like that. And some people would be rude. They would, do the extra as far as trying to badger these particular people. But for the most part, you knew how to stay in your lane naturally. You know what I'm saying? And the world started taking the things that we knew in the neighborhoods and how we would conduct ourselves in the neighborhoods with each other, and they made TV propaganda out of it. They took and they made shows out of it. They made reality. They put it in cartoons. All the little nuances, all the little things that we would see. And now that you see a Bart Simpson doing something that maybe a guy down the street was doing when he was drunk, it's the funniest thing in the world. Like, we let it slip past us, and we wasn't looking at it as these things that we would not normally show children became the TV of the world. It became the new characteristic traits of the world. It became the way we was going to go, down to the rawest level of disrespect. And I can't let this shit get past me. I'm sitting there like, yo, at the end of the day, y'all still talking like we a part of some dial-up TV channel and this is what it is. No, it's a level to this shit. If your grandparents was here, they've been and kicked y'all ass for most of the shit y'all be saying and doing, and that's a fact. Y'all know this. Y'all grandparents would have dog walked y'all already a long time ago. Y'all parents, I don't care if you old right now, you in your 60s and 70s. I don't care if your parents, your grandparents here, you would get your ass cut by the shit you doing today. You know this is a fact. How you talking and how y'all carrying yourself. And I remember back in the day, you couldn't even chew bubble gum in front of the old heads. They make you spit that out. You ain't about to be popping no gum around me. Big facts. So like it was so many different things. And I'd be like, yo, I understand though. I understand everybody wanted to grow up. But your old heads was teaching you how to keep respect for the divine. And that was going over your heads. And because you hated it so much, soon as you got free, you couldn't help. You couldn't wait to be grown. That was your biggest goal. I gotta be grown. I can't wait that I could buy cigarettes out the store. I can't wait that I could go out to the club. I can't wait that I can get me some. I can't wait that I can give somebody some. I can't wait that I can do this or do that. Everything was I can't wait because you was mad that your ass was so damn fast or your nigga ass wasn't structured the right way. You wanted to go drink a bottle. You wanted to go. You just wanted to be grown. And after you done did this so long, you think that that's the way you're going to handle the rest of your life. You think those things you learned was the way you were supposed to be. You think now that you're adult, you can do that because you finally figured out that that feels particularly good and that's how you want to live. You're damaged, Joe. That's damage. That is damage. That is damage. No matter how you cut this, no matter what it looked like, it's damage, yo. You can't choose from these standpoints. You have to have more of patience in your life so when you do get a chance to do stuff, it's more enjoyable. If you're always doing something all the damn time, your body don't get time to rest from none of these things. This is what they focused on in the South when they started needling the food with all these steroids. They was hoping you would lose your mind and want to go spend some money, be agitated, and get obese. They was hoping this. They was hoping that you would change. This was always the plan. Every single thing leads to something else, and then you find yourself in these positions, and now you're embarrassed, you're inadequate, you don't know what to say, you haven't studied about anything, and you got to fight from that standpoint. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be embarrassing. This is a fact, but got to keep in mind it's the plan. So if we ain't helping each other and everything else is killing you, why is it such a bad thing when somebody comes to truly help you and truly love you? It's because you're used to being in that type of energy. You're used to the other shit. The other shit is more tantalizing. It's like, nah, I can expect that to be what it is. I can expect to be more of a loser. I'm afraid to be high echelon. I'm afraid to say I actually put in work and accomplish something because you're too used to failing and doing all the steps that come with it. So now everything else around you has to embody that particular energy. I will never stop creating. I'm gonna always keep creating and keep growing because that's just who I am as an individual. It's might take a long time to get back. Who knows? But I ultimately know if I want to blame anything, I blame myself for making the wrong choices because I believe that I could connect my ideas with certain people and I gave them chances. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for my choice because Divine said, as a man, you stand on your word. So I stood on my word when it looked like I shouldn't have been standing on my word. And I did that because that's what a man would do. That I think, right? Be honest to his word. But then all the men I ever met always lied about their word. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I'm in illusion or I'm holding on to something that people just don't want to hold on to. I don't know. But it feels better to me in my heart when I keep my word to somebody and I'm able to keep my word and stand on that and we get farther than the point of initial, right? If I'm doing yard work with somebody or if I'm doing anything, we make a plan to get somewhere and we ultimately get to that goal, I feel accomplished. You know what I'm saying? I can say like, yo, we did that. You know what I mean? And that's the feeling I always get when I create things and I use the talent divine gives me. I feel accomplished. I'm like, damn, I tapped into myself and I made that shit happen. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And I give the praise to the Most High because divine gives you these things. This is when you get to sit with yourself. You get to sit with yourself and find out what you truly about. And despite everything else or what's said or how things look in the world, like I automatically know that I just got all off topic because I know I was talking about I was supposed to be talking about the masculine and the feminine. I think I covered enough of that, right? About speaking to that value. I did. All right, so either way, as I don't know, I know I was going all off because I don't know, my mind is like pushing me to talk about holding on to the Most High, like holding on to divine no matter what, because divine gave you all the gifts anyway, right? Gave you all the gifts, so at the end of the day, like you're not losing what divine gave you. You know what I'm saying? You'll never lose what the Most High gave you. You may put it down for a while, but sometimes you put it down just to structure the right mentality around it. Only thing I need to do is get placed in the right situation. You know, if I can get put in the right situation, it's a rocket booster for me. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So it's been a long time. I had to come from the bottom, you know, it's a struggle. But, you know, if y'all like what I be dropping and my knowledge helps you in some way, it gives you a piece of clarity to look in your life and may help you find a pathway out. Support the stream, drop a donation. Information is always at the bottom of the screen. You know what I mean? If you need that graphic design work, you know what I'm saying, and all that, that's always available. You need promotion, advertisement, or all that, that's always available. And also, you know, Patreon is still on. I just put I just upload today how to meditate or how to manifest in 3 minutes. So you can check that out. But you got to sign up for the Patreon. Plus all the incremental science up there. I made sure all the incremental science is up there from 1 all the way to 32. So you can go on there and watch all of them, but you got to subscribe to my Patreon for that. Check out this commercial real quick.
You
This
can go to
Patreon.
my Patreon and check out all the incremental sciences. Incremental sciences, they're available. So many different ones. All the way up to 32. So go to my Patreon and sign up today and get on these incremental sciences because I drop a lot of knowledge. And I do actual artwork for you to see what's going on and get the in-depth understanding of what's going on and what we're dealing with yourself. Nah.
So you already know the vibes. So you can go over the Patreon information is in the description. You could take that information and go sign up for the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not expensive. It's like $7.77 a month. You know what I'm saying? So you can go on there. I got free artwork you can download off of there. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make yourself a portrait, you can blow it up and hang it up on the wall. It's art that I did. You can go in there and check it out. I got different particular pieces on there. I haven't I'm probably gonna put some more. I haven't put none on there in a while. I have a whole nother tier on there too. It's a little bit more expensive, but that's for like that hardcore talk. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I added many more of those up there, but yeah, for the most part, you know, we got some things going. And also the book is on there. I got the children's book on there called The Black Nagas. So go check that out. You know what I'm saying? It's all available. It's on my Patreon. You know what I mean? But like I said, I got so many facets, yo, so many things I be doing. And I don't know. I think I need to like hire a sonographer one day. Like I need like a walk around sonographer because there's too much going on. I can't. I think I just need somebody to type it all down and I translate it into a book somehow, right? So that's the type of energy I'm on. But I ain't gonna hold y'all though. I hope this help you, and I will see y'all again soon. You already know the vibes. Naga.